using VHD or VHDX. Now this VHD is a virtual disk. Virtual disk is basically for the virtual machine, but we can use this virtual disk for the real machine also, for the physical machine as a physical disk. It works like a physical disk. We can use it to create connect to the physical machine. We can create volumes into it. We can create partition into it. It will work like a same real disk. Then we can also do one thing, we can install or we can deploy the operating system into it, and we can configure our machine to boot from it. So for using or creating virtual disks, we can create from disk management, or we can create it from the diskpart command or PowerShell command. This is our server operating system, and what we'll do, we want to create a disk. So we can do it from the virtual disk management. We can open the disk management by right clicking on this start, and here in the menu we have disk management. Now here we can create virtual disks from here. Right now we have these two disks. This is our first disk, this is our other disk we have added. I'm not using it, so I can remove this disk. Now for creating virtual disk, we will go to action. In action we have option to refresh, we have option to rescan disk. Like we can scan the disk if it is not showing there, so we can scan all the disks, so it will check what are the available disks we have. Right now we have only one disk, which is our operating system disk. Then we have option to create virtual disk. Now for creating the virtual disk, we can click here, and it gives us this option where we can select what disk we want to create. Now first it gives me the option to give a name and the location, so I'll go browse, and where I want to create, so I will go to C drive. Under the C drive I have this folder. Now under this folder I'm going to create a disk, and I'm going to name a disk with, like, this is my virtual disk 1, and the extension could be any. By default it is going for VHD, but we can go for VHDX also. So this is where I'm creating my virtual disk. Now we can decide the size in MB, GB or TB. I will create it on 10 GB. Then we have option to select the format, VHD or VHDX. By default VHD is selected. This .VHD, you can see the name of the hard disk is virtual disk is .VHD, and if we want, then we can select VHDX, then the extension will change to VHDX. Both are different. This one can support virtual disk up to 2040 GB in size, and VHDX can support up to 64 TB. But this is what it has, a more options here in this VHDX, but this is only supported in Windows 8 and Server 2012. So it will not be supported in previous versions of Windows, like before Windows 8 or before Server 2012. So it is not supported in those operating systems. So if you create this VHDX, so it will be not used. So if you try to use this on this previous operating system, Hyper-V, it will not be used. So this one can be used on the latest machine, that means this Windows 8 client machine and Windows Server 2012. Then we have these options, virtual disk type, like fixed size or dynamically expanding. If you select VHDX, it will select dynamically expanded recommended. If you go VHD, it goes fixed size recommended. But we can select both of them. Now both of them has a different option. Fixed size means what? It will take the whole size which we configure. Like we say 10 GB, so it will take the whole 10 GB at the same time when we create it. But when you select the dynamically expanding, So it will not take the whole 10 GB from our hard disk, like it is going to take the space from our C drive, but it is not going to take the space the whole 10 GB at the same time. It will expand the size as it required. Remember, it is taking the size from C drive because we are creating the file under the C drive. Virtual disk is like a file, is like a file, and in our machine it will look like a file, but it can be used as a hard disk. So it depends on us, like what we want to select, fixed size or dynamically expanding. So it depends on us. So I'm going to select VSDX and I'm going to select dynamically expanded, and I will do create. Now as I create, I can see that here 10 GB hard disk it is showing now, and it is also created there. We can check this. It is under C drive, under this folder we have this VD1, and right now the size of this, we can go to the properties, we can see the size, the type is VSDX, and the size is right now only 4 MB. It is not taking the whole 10 GB here because we have selected dynamically expanding. Now we can use this disk as a real hard disk, but it is actually a virtual hard disk. First you will initialize it. So I will select this, initialize. I can initialize with GPT, MPR, whatever. Now it is available. Now I can create volumes into it. I can go next, simple volume, next. Let's go for 5 GB now. Drive letter, file system, and finish. And you see I created the 5 GB partition here, just like we do in the real hard disk. Then remaining 5 GB is unallocated. I can use that one also. Now I created actually 2 partitions from that, 2 volumes from this 10 GB virtual disk, and we can see this in our this PC. We can go to this PC and we can see that these 2 partitions are there. Now these partitions are looking like a real partition from the real disk, but it is actually coming from the virtual disk. So whatever the data we store in these 2 partitions, the data will go to that virtual disk, and the disk actually is stored here under the C drive, VHD, and here. So the disk is here, and the data we can store from this hard disk. Now we can use this virtual disk to create a virtual machine also. That means we can create the virtual machine and we can attach this virtual disk into it, or we can use this virtual disk for the real machine. And also what we can do, we can use this virtual disk to install the operating system also, and we can boot our machine from that operating system. So for that, what I will do, I want to install the operating system into it. Now what I will do, if I want to install the operating system into it, then I can do it from the command line. From command line I can do this, and a command line tool called DISM. DISM is a tool which we can use to deploy the operating system. We can use to do lots of deployment things. It is basically to deploy the multiple things into the system, into the Windows system. To run that DSM, we will run the CMD command. We will run the command prompt, and we will run it as a administrator. Now DISM is a tool. If you press this help here, so it will show you the all options available with this command. This is the all option we have with this command, which we can use to configure or manage the images or virtual disks. So what this DISM means, it is deployment image servicing and management tool. So totally it is for the image management. Image, that means installation images. So it is completely for managing the images of Windows. In a description you can say that DISM do what? Enumerates, install, uninstall, configures and update features and packages in Windows images. The command that are available depend on the image being serviced and whether the image is offline or running. Offline or running, that means whether it is running or offline, it can do manage those images. Now images, that means for installation in Windows nowadays, what it has a .vim file. That is a Windows installation image file. So it is what this tool is to manage that images online or offline, whether it is online installed or offline it is not installed. Now I want to install the operating system into that virtual disk. Now first we have to decide what operating system we want to install. So whatever the operating system we want to install, we'll do what? We will put the DVD installation DVD onto the on our physical drive. Right now on my physical drive I'm having a DVD of installation media of my 2016 server. Now this 2016 server is actually having four editions, four editions we can say, two editions and two standards and four editions, like standard edition in core and graphical, then data center edition in core and graphical. So when we try to install this operating system, so it gives us four options, whether we want to install standard in core or standard in graphical, then whether we want to install data center in core or data center in graphical. So we have to decide first that what operating system in which mode we want to install. We want to install it on core, or we want to install it on graphical edition, or we want to install the standard edition, or we want to install the data center edition. Now how we know that which edition we can install? We can use the DISM command, and with that we will use the command. We can say this, we can see all these options here. In this option there is an option to get the image info. So image info, that means it will show you the image information. So I will say get image info, and then the image file is this, the drive of our DVD. So DVD is under the D drive, so I will say D drive. Now under the DVD we have a folder called sources, and under the sources folder we have the file called install.vim. Now this is the file where it is having all the installation files and medias and everything. Everything is installed, everything is available in this particular file. It is the Windows installation file. So all those editions are into this file. Now we'll try to check it. Now what it is showing here, that it is having the standard edition, then it is having the Windows Server 2016 Standard Evolution Edition with desktop experience, then it has the Windows Server Data Center Evolution, that is core version, and then we have Windows Server Data Center Evolution with the desktop experience, that is GUI. Now if we want to select one of them, now not all the images have these multiple options. Mostly images have only one option, but this is server operating system, this is server image, and it is having these two options available, like data center is standard and core and graphical. So we can decide what we want to install, and we can decide based on this index number. So we have to remember the index number that which we want to install. Suppose we want to install the data center in graphical, so we have to select the index number 4. If I want to install in core version, then I will select index number 3. Index number 2 is to install the standard edition in graphical, and index number 1 is to install the standard edition in core. So I know now that in this we have these multiple additions, and these are the index numbers of those multiple additions. So now we can do what? We can install this operating system into that virtual disk. Now remember, our virtual disk is mounted here. It is connected here. And what we will do, we will create a volume here. So the volume is also available now. The volume, now the disk, the partition is E drive. This is the E drive we have, and now we are ready to install it. So for installing or applying the image on this virtual disk, I will use DISM / apply image. Apply image with the index number is equal to, now whatever the index number you want. For example, I want to install desktop experience of data center, or no, I want to install the standard edition of graphical experience, so I will use index number 2. Then we will use index is 2. I want to install standard. Then image file, and image file is under D drive, and this is the install.wim file. So from this file we are going to install the image, and then where we want to install, here we will define that by using the apply dir command. And apply dir, that means where we want to install. So we want to install it under this partition E drive. So what I will mention here, E drive, and then we can press enter, and it is started the installation process. And you can see it is applying the image in that disk, and this will take a little time. This will take a little time because it is going to be installed. So since it is installing, so we can do something else because it will take a time. So this is how we can create this virtual disk, and we can even install the operating system. It is going on and it will take a little time. So till then we can see something else here. Like for example, what type of hard disk we want to select. So when you want to select the disk, so you have to decide the type of the disk you want to select. And that depend on the performance. As the performance increase, so does the cost also. So if you want to have a partition, you want to select the disk, then what you have to do, you have to decide based on the performance. But when the performance increases, the cost is also increasing. In old days, what we have is IDE hard disk, EIDE hard disk. It was very slow. It was very slow as compared to the latest hard disk what we have, or latest technology what we have. But it was slow. But now, if you compare with these disks, it was cheap. But it was slow. It does not support the large amount of space. Then now we have SATA. SATA is a new technology, and it do what? It is faster than this old IDE. It is faster than this, performance is good, and it can support the large space also. We can have a disk of 2 TB up to more than 2 TB we can have, but it is it is a little expensive than the IDE. But nowadays nobody uses IDE. In any machine you will not see IDE hard disk. Every machine you will see SATA. But SATA is also, as compared to this SCSI, is slow. So SATA is, as compared to this SCSI, it is still slow. So this SCSI is also faster than the SATA. But again, when you choose between SATA and SCSI, this SCSI is little expensive than the SATA. So mostly in a client machines we use SATA hard disk, and these SCSI hard disks are used in the server operating system. So mostly in server machines they use SATA disks, SCSI disks. It is a little expensive but faster than the SATA. Then we have now SAS. Now this is the latest one than SCSI. Now this one do what? It is faster than this SCSIs also, but actually it is also expensive than the SCSI. Again, now we have SSDs. Now these SSDs are, we can say, the fastest one among all these previous type of hard disks. It is the fastest one, but again it is more expensive than all the other hard disks. So basically the fastest disk available we have is SSD, but this is the most expensive disk we have among all the other disks. So if you use SSD, it is the fastest one, so you can use it in your machine. It gives you a good performance, but again it is an expensive disk. It is an expensive disk as compared to, like, when you compare it to the SATA. Now IDE is not available. When you compare to SATA, so if suppose you get 100 GB of this SSD, in that 100 GB the cost you will pay for the 100 GB of SSD, you can buy the 1 TB of SATA. So that much expensive you have this SSD. Now next, managing the volumes in Windows Server. Now for managing the volumes in Windows Server, first, what are the disk volumes, options for managing the volumes, managing and extending and shrinking volumes, and the RAID volumes we have. First, what are the volume? What are the disk volumes? So in Windows servers, it supports these following volumes: simple volumes, span, strip, mirror, and RAID file. Now simple volume means the simple partition we create. It is a simple volume. Then span volume is a Windows specific volume. You will not get this on any other operating system. It is what we can say, it is a Windows specific volume, which is actually do what? Span from one disk to other disk. It is why it is called span volume. It will span from one disk to other disk. That means if you have two disks of 60 GB, so if you want to create 80 GB partition, so you can create with combined of those two disks. Like for example, if you use only one disk, you can create maximum up to 60 GB partition. You cannot create 80 GB partition. But you want to have 80 GB partition, so you can do what? You can expand the partition from one disk to the second disk. So you can expand the volume from one disk to other disk, and that is called span volume. That means in the first disk it will take the whole 60 GB, and then from the next disk it will take 1020 GB, and total 80 GB partition it can create. So this is what span volume. It can store the data from one disk to other disk. Then we have strip volume, mirror volume, and RAID file volume. Now these three volumes are from the RAID configuration. This is the RAID volumes. Now RAID is what? It is a redundant array of interconnected devices. This is to make the devices redundant, make the hard disk or make the data available every time if the hard disk is corrupted. Like for example, if you are having two disks, so if you are having single disk and you store your data into the single disk, and that disk, if the disk is corrupted, you will lose the data. So in the RAID configuration, what the administrator do, or what we can do, we can combine 2 or 3 or more disks to create a single partition. And then what if one of the disks goes corrupt, is still we can not lose the data, we can still get the data, because the data will be available from the other disk. So this RAID is actually for redundancy. That means it is for high availability. That means if you lose one of the disks, still you will get the data, you will not lose the data, and the data will be always available to the applications and the operating system, because it is working on this RAID. So there are 3 types of RAID it is showing here. It depends on the 3 levels. But in a RAID configurations, we have multiple levels. We have level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6 also. But here in Microsoft Windows, you can see the level 3 levels here. First is the strip volume, it is RAID level 0. Mirror volume is RAID level 1, and this RAID 5 itself saying that this is RAID level 5. So these are the different type of volumes we have it supports in Windows Server 2016. These two is first simple and span is simple is a simple volume, simple partition. Span volume is a expanded volume from one disk to other disk, and it is Windows specific, we can say. It is not supported in other operating system. Then last, these 3 are what it is a RAID partition, RAID volumes. Okay, our this installation is reached up to 74%. So it is going to reach up to 100%, so it will be installed. Okay, 75, and it will take more time then. So the installation will take more time, so we can go on with this. Now, how we can manage our volumes and disk in Server 2016. Now, previously what we have seen is to manage the disk and partitions and volumes through the disk management tool. Now the disk management tool was available since 2000, Windows 2000, and it is available in both the operating system, in client operating system and server operating system, both operating systems. But here in server operating system, we can manage our disk and volumes from this server manager also. So we don't have to go to disk management, we can manage our all disk and volume related settings from this server manager. Same thing which we can manage from the disk management tool, we can do the same thing from the server manager also. Okay, now we can see that it is 100%, and it is operation is completed successfully. That means it is it has already applied the image into this disk. We can check this. So this is the disk, and E drive, here we can see that this drive is now from 10 GB, 9.96 GB is now used, and we can say 100% is used. Now also we can verify from here. We can see here E drive is full, and when you go to the E drives, we can see the operating system files are there. Now we have to make this installation which we did it into that disk, we have to make it into our installation list, our bootable list. So to add this into the boot list, like when we restart the system, it is going to ask us that which operating system you want to start. So we can select that E drive also, and for that what I will do, I will use VCD boot option. Now this command is for editing the boot files, boot.ini file, and that file indicate that what operating system, or if you are having the multi-level operating systems, then this file is to configure that multi-level operating system, multi-boot operating system. Now when we configure it, so by default we configure it by this, when we install it directly, so automatically the entry will be there, but we have not installed it normally, we just applied the image into the disk, so we have to add the entry into the list. So I will mention that bcd boot and boot from which, so I will say boot from this E drive and this Windows folder. So I will mention E drive here, and under the E drive, boot from Windows, and it is creating the boot entry for that, and it is added. We can see the boot file successfully added. Now when we boot from the Windows, when we boot it from the when we restart the system, so what we will see, we will see this new installation option. So let's see that now. I will restart the system. Okay, now it is restarting. And now we can see these two options available. The one is the previous one which we have did. We did install the data center edition, and the second one what we have is the new installation from the virtual disk. Okay, I think we should have choose the other operating system because the names are same. I think this is the first entry because the latest come first, so I will try this first one, and it is trying to start this. It is getting ready, and it is getting ready to start. And now we can see it is the first time it is starting, so it is asking for these options. These options was actually selected when we start the installation normally from the installation media, but these options we have not configured because we have applied the installation directly on the disk. So the country and language settings you select, the region and the app language you want select, so you can select this, like I will select this, and the keyboard layout. Then license agreement, and then you have to provide the password for the administrator account. And here it is, we are ready to start. Password of that administrator account and login. So this one is starting first time, and this is the standard edition we have installed. The original one is the data center edition. This one is the standard edition we have installed. And in the original one, we have the Active Directory installed also. But in this is the one, this is the latest, this is just installed, so there is no option, there is no roles and features installed in this. It is starting. And now server manager is also started, and now it is completely loaded. And here what we have, in when you go to the local server, so we can see the name is, the default name is there, and it is in the work group, and everything is in the default. And what we have here, Microsoft Windows Server 2016 standard edition. So this is the one which we have installed in that virtual machine, virtual disk. Now when you see from this, we see that where we are getting this machine, this operating system boot. So we can see that in this PC, we can see that it is showing this C volume, and this C volume is only 10 GB. This is the one, this is the virtual disk which is booted here, and this is the original hard disk and the original operating system we have here. And the operating system which right now it is running, it is running from this virtual disk of 10 GB, and it is here. Only 612 MB is remaining. So we can use this. What we are doing here, we are using the virtual disk as a real hard disk, and we are doing what, we have installed the operating system into it, and we are using that operating system. So we have made it bootable, we have made it multi-boot. We can install Windows 10 also into this. Windows Server is here, so we can install Windows 10 into it also. Same way we just have to select this Windows 10 image. So our operating system is running from this drive, this virtual disk. Now what I will do, I will reboot, and I will go back to our original one. And I will start the original one now. Original one, the one which is actually installed on the physical disk. So among these two entries, the first entry always be the latest one. So the previous one will be the second entry. So I will select this second one now to start the one which is installed in the physical disk. Now this one is our operating system which is installed in the physical disk, and this is having a domain also. So I'm logging into that. So this is our latest, this is our physical install on the physical disk, and it is having a domain, and this is data center edition. It is already configured. Now our virtual disk, now if you see here, the virtual disk is now detached. That means it is automatically detached, because we have mounted, we have booted, we have rebooted, so it is automatically detached, and it is detached, and it is not deleted, it is still available here. So whenever we boot our system, it will start from here if we select the installation we have did into this disk. But if suppose the disk is there and we don't want to start it from there. If suppose I delete the hard disk, delete the virtual disk, I can do that. I can just right click and delete it. I can just delete the disk. So if suppose I delete the disk, but the entry will still be there, the entry for booting from the disk will still be there. So if you want to remove that entry, you have to open the cmd command again as an administrator. So in the boot manager, that entry will still be there. So we can see that bcd edit command. So when you run the bcd edit command, you can see the entries there. So it is showing this is the boot manager. We have one entry here which is coming from this virtual disk. So this is the entry which is for that virtual disk operating system, and this is coming from here, and it is booting from this, and this is the next one. This is our original operating system which is booting from partition C drive, and this one is booting from the virtual disk. So if we want to remove this, then we can remove this one. Both are server 2016, server 2016. So if suppose the hard disk is if you remove the virtual disk, then we should remove this entry from this boot manager also. What we did, added this entry by using this what do we say, boot bcd boot command. If you want to remove this, then we can remove it from using this ID. So we will do this by using delete command, and then we will paste this ID, and then we will give the option to clean also, clean up. So it will clean the record, it will clean that entry from the displaying also. When we reboot the system, the entry shows us there in the list, so it will remove the entry from the list also. And now it is saying it is removed. Now when you check bcd edit, so it is showing here, but we reboot, it will not show there. So after reboot, it is going to be deleted. Now we saw that how we can do what, we can use the virtual disk for installing the operating system, and we can use that also for our real system, for our physical system. Now back to this topic, that what type of volumes we have. We have these different type of volumes, and simple volumes, fan volumes, strip, mirror, and red 5 volumes. Now all those things what we can do from the disk management, we can do it from the server manager for servers. Just like we want to create new partition, we want to shrink existing partition, extend existing partition, we want to create new simple volume, and whatever, we can do it from this server manager. So just like we did it from the disk management, we can do it all from this server manager. Now in the server manager, we have these file and storage services available. This is the default role, this is the default service by default installed with any any Windows Server 2016. Like whenever you install any Windows Server 2016 edition, standard edition, data center edition, this service, this role will be available, and it is installed by default. And under this, when you go, you see all these options. First option is to show you about the server, that server which is having this role. So right now it is server 1, we are working on server 1 right now. Then next is volume. Now here it will show you the volumes, available volumes. So right now we have C drive, and this is the system drive, system recovery drive we have. So these are the two volumes we have right now available in this Windows. We don't have any other hard disk. These are fixed, positioning is fixed, then capacity of the partition, that is capacity of that volume, and free space available, free space. And then if you go down here, you can see that which disk it is using, the volume is created under which disk. You can see the disk option available here also. So when you select any volume, so it will show you information about that volume here, that the volume is created under the virtual under the disk VMware disk, and that is capacity of 100 GB. Total GB disk is allocated because it is a physical disk, and 100 GB is already allocated. It is online, bus type is NVMe. And what are the share folders we have in that volume? So we have these two share folders also. So it is showing that what are the share folders also available in that volume, in that partition. So right now we have only that partition. Then when you go to disk, so you can see the disk which is available in our system. Right now we have only one disk online, and 100 GB size, available unallocated is 1 MB, and the partitioning type is GPT. This is the type of the physical bus, that is NVMe. That is actually it is using SCSI disks. So this is the disk right now we have. And when you go down, so there are some advanced features there about the storage pool. Then there is an option saying that volumes, how many volumes we have in this disk. So we have these two volumes, C drive, and also we have this system recovery drive. So we can see and we can manage it from here. For example, if suppose we have these volumes here, we have C drive, and all the drives are used, all the space are used available, all the available space is used. We can see the disk is already allocated all the space, no space is remaining in this disk. So if you want to create a new volume, there is no available space. So what we can do, we can shrink it, just like we did it in disk management. We can do it here also. We right click on this, and then we have an option here. We have option to extend the volume, and also we have option to shrink the volume. But where is the shrink volume option available? It is not available here. So as we see, the shrink option is not available here. We have option to extend, shrink option is not there. So that option will be available in the disk management. So under the disk management, we have an option to shrink the volume. But if we have a unallocated space available, then we can create the partition from there. We can extend it. Let me shrink it from here, and I will make some space available so that we can see how we can create the partitions. So I will shrink it to 20 GB. So we have now available space. I will go to server manager and I will refresh it. Now you can see here that 80% is allocated, and now we have some unallocated space. So we have some unallocated space available now, which we can use to create new volume. Now if we want to create a new volume, then we can create from here. We can select this task and we can create new volume from it, or we can select from here also, from the disk option. Like from the disk, I know that there is a 20 GB available, so I can select here and create new volume. Now it will open this wizard. Now from this wizard we can go on and select the new create the new volume. So first it is saying this is the wizard to create this and that. I will say okay, you should read this before you begin. Next, it is showing that this is the server online and this is local, and this is the disk and this is the size available, capacity and free size. So we want to create on this, so we say yes. We'll go next, and then what it is asking about the capacity available and what capacity you want to create. So I just want to create 10 GB, so I mentioned 10 GB here, and then I will go next. And then again here it is asking for the drive letter. If you want to mount it on some other folder, or you just don't want to assign the drive letter. So I will go with the drive letter. Then what file system you want, and in this you will see that in this there is no FAT available, because server manager, that means it is a server operating system, and in server operating system there is no way that you should use the FAT file system. We should always use NTFS or ReFS, whether ReFS or NTFS, but FAT file system is not supported in server operating systems. So this is server operating system, so basically it supports only NTFS, or even we can select ReFS. But from the disk management tool, we can use FAT, because this disk management tool is from the old versions, so it supports it. Now allocation is default, volume name you can give any, and here there is an option says generate short file names. This is not recommended. Now short file names, that means 8 characters with 3 characters extension. That means whatever the file you create inside this partition, you can have option to create a short file name. You can select short file names. This is not recommended, because this is are required for some 16-bit application running on client computers, but make file operations slower. This is to support some backward compatibility of old systems, which run some applications which supports these small file names, 16-bit applications. So if in case you are having some of that applications, then you should enable this. Otherwise it is not recommended to enable it, because it makes it slow. Okay, and I will go next now. And now this is the summary of the selection, and then I will say create. And this is now created, and as we can see here, we have the new volume E drive, and this is 10 GB fixed size. We can check here also in this PC that this is our new E drive. And if suppose we connect the new disk, so we can also manage the disk from this server manager, and the new disk will appear here, and then you can decide what you want to do with that disk. For example, I will connect new disk here. Now you see I added the new disk here, which is 60 GB, and this is offline, partitioning style unknown, and by default right now it is read only. And what are the type? So bus type is SAS, that is directly serial attached storage. It is directly connected to our machine through the serial cable. Now when I want to use this, so I will right click here and I will say first bring online. Now it is online, but it is not initialized, so I can right click and I will say initialize. And you can see by default it will directly initialize to GPT. It will not give you option to initialize into MBR. You can do this from disk management, but you cannot do it from this server manager. Server manager always initialize with the GPT disk. You just have to say yes and it will create GPT. And then now this disk is available, so we can create new volumes from it. You can create directly selecting the disk and selecting the new task from here. You can create new volume from here, or we can go to volumes we can create the new volume from here, from the volumes tab, or we can go down to the disk option and then we can create new volume from here. Now whether from everywhere we select new volume, this wizard will open, and when we go next, here it will ask to select the disk. So whatever the disk we have, we can select it from here, that which disk we want to install, which disk we want to create the partition. So I select the new disk, then I go next, then the size of the volume, then next, then the drive letter, then file system, and then the summary you have selected, and then create. And this is how it is created now. So we can see now new volume F here of 10 GB, and it is created from this disk. So 10 GB is used, so now 49 GB is available. Deleting the volumes, deleting the partitions, right click, and we can delete the volume. And when we go to the disks, it is now all available. And if it is GPT, we can reset the disk also back to normal. Now it is again unknown, and now we can initialize again, and we can take it offline also if we don't want to use it, so it will not be available. So we can do manage everything, which we can manage it from the disk management, but there are something which is not available here in the server manager, like we can't initialize into MBR, we are not have an option to shrink it, but we have an option to extend, but don't have an option to shrink it. And also we don't have option to make it MBR, we have only option to make it GPT. Whenever we initialize, it will always go to GPT. So as you see, it always go to GPT. So we have option to manage the volumes from the server manager in Windows Server 2016, and also disk management tool, which is available in every versions of Windows. Then also we have a command line tool, which is diskpart. We have diskpart also to manage and create the partitions and the hard disk. So in CMD commands we have diskpart, and this is the command to create a partition, and also same thing we can do it from PowerShell, and these are the PowerShell commands to create and manage the partitions. And then we can do extend and shrink the volumes also, like you can resize the volumes with Windows Server. When you want to resize the disk, consider the following: you can extend or shrink NTFS volumes, you can only extend ReFS volumes. Remember, ReFS volumes cannot be shrinked, and you cannot resize the FAT file systems. You cannot resize, like we cannot shrink or extend the FAT volumes, and we can shrink a volume only up to immovable files, and we cannot shrink a volume with the bad clusters. So if your file system or volume are bad clusters, it is having a bad sectors, then we can't shrink them or extend them. We can't shrink them, we can only shrink them till the immovable files. Like if we are having already store up to in 10 GB partition, 10 GB partition, 8 GB is already used, so we cannot shrink it to 7 or 5 GB because it is not available space.